Hi, I'm Laura, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the start of another vlog. Today is Saturday the 10th of May 2025 and as I'm sure most of you are aware, I did have to delay the release of Just Breathe again because it's just not ready. It's just not ready. I haven't set a publication date yet because I didn't want to set a date and then have to delay it again a third time because, you know, 3 strikes you're out in my opinion. I didn't want to disappoint people again, saying that I can achieve something for a certain date and then not doing it. So it's not been pulled, it's not delayed indefinitely, it's just, it'll be ready when it's ready. It's not quite ready and I'm just gonna work on it. So it's like it's after 9 o'clock at night on Saturday. I wine. I do like a little Chardonnay every now and again. I have all of my notes here and my aim this week is to redo the final draft because I came across some things. I am kind of happy that I'm kind of happy that I delayed it again, or that, you know, it didn't come together in time for this release, because I found some things that I wanted to include that I hadn't included. So right now, tomorrow and the rest of the week, I am going to redo the final draft. I'm going to add in all of my notes and I'm going to add in the missing scenes that need to be in it, the missing, there's like chunks of text that I wanted to include that I didn't include because I didn't have a sheet of paper and I forgot about it. That's why I keep everything written down, because I will have bursts of inspiration and I'll come up with like clutches of dialogue or some descriptive pieces and I'll forget about them if I don't write them down. And then of course I'll write them down and then I've forgotten about it, but as long as it's written down I can come back to it. But if I don't have it all together then I can't come back to it. So in here, like, I've got a lot of this is also for when Just Breathe was still part of Inhale, like it was supposed to be like the opening scenes of Inhale. So yeah, I've got my very detailed timeline. I know it doesn't look very detailed, but it is. I've got my detailed timeline. I've got a printout of all of my notes, my ChatGPT timeline, outline, all of the sort of scene concepts. I literally had a file that's called Things That Need to Happen. And that is like 6 pages of things that need to happen, just bullet points of things that need to happen, that need to be expanded into full scenes. And then of course I've got my original notes that I needed to do for the final draft. And then I've got my my little mini story bible for the Breathe trilogy. And it has even more notes in here that I need to flesh out the final draft, whatever, the draft of Just Breathe. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. I am going to go back through and just go over it all. I don't know where my note cards are actually. That's a concern. What did I do with them? Oh, I know where they are. I know where they are. 1 second, they are in my laptop folder. They're there. I knew where they were the whole time. I just need to think about it. So today I got a bunch of vlogs edited, so they're good to go and out of the way. And I got all this stuff gathered up and things printed, and Luna had a birthday party, which was a nice big diversion this afternoon. something different and fun to do. It was such a glorious day. It was nice to go for the walk. It actually wasn't really far from here. It was like a church hall that was literally like across the road and into Old Aberdeen a little bit. But it was lovely. She had an amazing time, and she met loads of new people, and she had a really good time, and she's been in such a great mood since. But yeah, sitting here wobbling on isn't going to get this done. The plan for tonight, I'm going to spend like the next hour or so just going through all these notes, compiling a list of what I want to add. I might do a fresh mini timeline with added notes. I can get that done really, really quickly. And then tomorrow we will start redrafting Just Breathe, and just basically taking a printout of the manuscript and just typing away, adding in the things that need to be added in, adjusting the edits as we need to go. The thing I was having the most difficulty with was tense, because obviously I started in first person present and then moved to first person past, and there are areas where that switchover wasn't done, so it is jittery. So editing it a portion at a time, there were bits that had been missed. So I'm just going to start from the very beginning, go through the entire manuscript, add all the changes, edit all the tense things that need to be straightened out, and then we'll just need to do a spelling grammatical check, a read through, and check for plot holes, continuity, and then we'll be golden. Will it be ready by this coming Friday? I don't know. Okay, depends how long it takes me to retype it all. But I've gotten myself into a really good rhythm at work now. I still don't know what's happening there. I spoke about it about a vlog or two ago, about I don't know if my position there is secure. I still don't know if my position there is secure, and it'll be what it is. I've looked into just working for myself and seeing how that plays out. I have been told that you can still work for yourself and be on universal credit. So I would be covered in that respect even whilst working for myself isn't generating an income, because they understand that being self-employed doesn't necessarily generate an income from the get-go. But if I were to do that, it would be slashing the family income for the month dramatically, and I don't know if that's a risk that we're in a position to take right now. So it is a safety net that I can do that, but it is not the ideal path to take. So we're just going to try and keep everything sweet at work. Try and keep on top of everything as much as I can, which I do. I do keep on top of everything as much as I can. It just depends on how guests leave their room. Like, you can have someone that will stay for a week and a half and their room is spotless, and you can have someone who stays a night and trashes the place. You'd never know what you're walking into. And there's other variables about how long a shift will take, because it depends on when people check out, it depends on when laundry comes back, and yeah, there's other variables. So like some days I can get, like, say 8 to 10 rooms done by 12:30, and then I can pop to a coffee shop or go to the library or something, like I had been doing before, and work on this, because I know if I come home, and I know he doesn't mean to, Mr. Man, he'll just start talking to me. He won't stop talking to me. I'm very grateful to have a partner that is so is so communicative. He likes to talk, he likes to chat, he likes to share interests, but also it's like, dude, working. And yeah, I can get a bit annoyed at him about it sometimes, and it doesn't end good. So if I can go stop off for like an hour or something somewhere and just, that's Mittens. Mittens likes to yell. He's fine. He is fine. He's fed, he's watered. He likes to yell. And so if I can stop off somewhere for like an hour and a half, depending on the day, it means I can still get home on time for pickup. And yeah, because I also feel like when I was staying at the office later and just coming home for dinner, there was frazzling happening at home, and like a week and a half of being home for pickup, being home when the kids are home, it has eased that tension a lot. So yeah, we'll kind of carry on down that avenue. It's all about finding the work-life balance. That is definitely a goal of mine, and being able to construct my own hours and pace my own workflow. That's what I've always wanted to. I've never wanted to work for other people. Never. Even when I was in school, I never wanted to work for other people. I always wanted to try and work for myself, and that's what I want to be achieving by the end of this year. I want to be self-employed, earn my own income, and I started the segment by saying warbling on isn't going to get this done, so let's shut up, get this prep work done, so that when we get up tomorrow I can crack on and yeah, get as much done tomorrow as I can, and it'll be golden. What was it? The kids wanted to watch all of the Julia Donaldson little movies, like the Gruffalo and things, so I'm going to queue them up on Amazon and make them snacks. Whilst they're watching that, I'll get some stuff done. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next clip. Good morning, it is Sunday the 11th of May. It is just going around 11 o'clock. I don't know what's happened to the last hour. Last time I looked at the clock it was just before 10, and then the last time I looked at the clock before that it was just after 8, so I don't know where this morning went. It's been kind of soaked up by tirades over Play-Doh. Of all things. We have a rule with Play-Doh in this house. If you have Play-Doh out and then you step away from Play-Doh, the Play-Doh goes away and you don't get it back. So that's what happened, and it quickly dissolved into stomping, screaming, and new one throwing things. None of my other children have thrown things at me. Like, thrown things around the room, sure, but never thrown them at me. I've never been the victim of projectiles. So there we go. That's been my morning so far. So I've got myself some coffee. I've mixed a couple of sachets. I mixed a latte macchiato and a double chocolate mocha thing. They're little ones. So yeah, got that. I've got a couple of those Bologna little Bueno rip-offs, and I've got my notes. So I am going to spend from now until lunchtime carrying on with what I was doing last night, which I did pretty good for like how tired I was yesterday. So I'm just going to carry on filling this out, and from what I've done so far just for chapter 1 for notes, I think I might have either a full A4 page per chapter, or I might have a double-sided A4 page per chapter, and then I'm going to try and get it all done and finished today. I mean, I did think about doing it last night, but it was not happening. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to finish these. Oh my goodness, mittens, mittens, mittens. You cheeky cat. What are you up to? Come here. You're a noisy puss. Yeah. Oh, me. Oh, me. So I'm going to get those chapter breakdowns completed today. Fingers crossed. And if I can, I'll start drafting the final draft again tonight. If not, it'll definitely start tomorrow. And I'm hoping to get it all done and dusted. And as I go along, I'm going to try and add to my, because I've got my, oh no, it's not here. Where is it? It's somewhere. Oh, it's on the windowsill. I've got my story Bible for Hillside Academy. So as I go along, I am going to add to that story Bible so that when I come to do Inhale properly, we've got a better, whatchamacallit, better outline going. We've got more sense of the vibe, the world, and everything. I have note cards. I think again they're on the windowsill. Because I did mark up some note cards like I did here for Inhale. They've got like gold lips on them. It's kind of cool. And I'm gonna work on that, and I might take a little break later on and do a layout in my scrapbook. I quite like this thing. I got it from Temu. I didn't know what the paper quality was going to be like. It's definitely not something I feel like I can write in because it would like bleed a lot, I think. So I've just been using it as like scrapbooks here. Originally this was like glued really, really tight, and then one day it just popped open. I was like, oh, okay. So now we've got wider margins. And this is the most recent one I did, this one here. I did this like the other night with some of the new things I got, and I really like it. It kind of reminds me of St. Anthony's school series I want to do in the future, which is kind of linked into the Hellmouth world. Some of our characters and societal brats will go there, and it'll have its own side stories that aren't necessarily related to Hellmouth. I could do things like this. It's just pretty things. They're just pretty things, and they make me happy. And this is about Gavin and Rachel. This is a St. Anthony's story that'll be coming later in the year, and it's about a girl who she has a crush on her tutor, and it's reciprocated in a way, but then she meets another guy who turns out to be a business associate of her father's, and yeah, it's a rather large age gap story, because I do like an age gap, and it is loosely based on an incident that actually happened. I say loosely based because it is really loosely based. Like, I went into the library one time. I was definitely underage, guys. I was definitely underage. I was 14. This guy was, yeah, I didn't look 14, I'll tell you that. And, like this, I tripped, and this guy got up to help me, and, it was just this sort of, you know when you can tell a guy really likes you, and he like awkwardly put out his hand to shake my hand dumbfoundedly, and then realised what he was doing, and he was like really embarrassed by his stupidity, and it was quite fun, and it was quite funny, and just like our eyes kept catching each other from like across the library, like through the stacks, and then his wife and his kids walked in. So there's that little story. At least I assume they were his wife and kids. He could have been her brother, but yeah. So, yeah. this guy's kind of stuck in my head. A lot of my stories will have some basis in reality, either an interaction I've had that's triggered it. Like, there's a kitchen story coming that came from a scene, an incident. It was definitely a scene where I ended up getting into a screaming match with my boss in the kitchen, and he screamed at me full voice, "I'm not your fucking boyfriend." And oh my god, the silence in that kitchen. Everyone stared. Everyone. Front of house staff had just walked in to drop off dishes, and this guy just screams at me, "I'm not your fucking boyfriend." I was like, "No, but you're my boyfriend's friend." Awkward. Oh. So, that's kind of how I ended up not working in the kitchen anymore, because after that point it got really awkward, and yeah, by the end of that shift I was in floods of tears. It was something, because like, I don't want to read too much into it. I don't know whether he was just saying like I was crossing like a personal boundary or something, like I was being unprofessional or something, but I don't know. It just made things get really awkward, and I didn't want to be in that kitchen anymore or around him anymore, and yeah, so that's how I ended up in housekeeping. But that story will be coming, or something built on that story will be coming soon, because believe it or not, I'm sure you've seen The Bear on Disney. I'm just rambling now, but there's lots of sexy things in the kitchen. Like, seriously, watch a guy whisk up cheesecake and see if you can hold yourself up. I had to hold on to the counter. Okay, I had to hold on to the counter. But yeah, that's not getting any of this done, so we're gonna get this done. We're gonna finish doing these chapter breakdowns and eat our snack and drink our coffee, and I've already uploaded the the vlogs. I have a few other things to edit, but I'll get this sorted first, and then when I take a break I'll do some editing. I don't know if I'm going to Pomodoro today, but yeah, I'm going to do something. I think I might actually play Sarah Cannon in the background, because she's put up her her notebook challenge for the month, and I do love watching them or listening to them, and this one's like an hour long, so I'm going to plug my phone in and I'm gonna listen to it, and I'm gonna charge camera batteries while I'm at it, because the other ones are dead. And oh, yesterday I upgraded my phone. It will arrive on Tuesday, and then I'm with the package. I'm getting a new computer with it, so awesome. Like, the laptop that I have is great. I can I've talked about it on my other channel before. The laptop I have is great. I got it because I couldn't do much with a Chromebook. Like, you can only really do internet-y productivity things. You can't do any, as it even says specifically on the specs, no offline productivity capabilities. Like, you can play light games, like app games and things, but you can't play like gamer games. Like, I wouldn't be able to download like Roller Coaster Tycoon or something and work that, because it just wouldn't do it. Oh me. So that's why I ended up getting the computer that I have now, so that I can use editing software and edit my videos. I actually can't remember if I had one before the other, or which one I had before the other. I think I got the Chromebook and then I got my Lenovo, because I think I got the Chromebook during lockdown because I desperately needed something, and I had yes, that's what it was, I definitely needed something for like internet activities, and then I had my computer for editing. And then when
is it lunchtime?
in 45 minutes, darling. Okay. And then as it progressed and we had Rosie, I couldn't really get to the computer because her crib was in front of the computer in the living room because we were in a smaller house. And I ended up getting the Lenovo so that I could edit. But now we're at the point where the Lenovo, I can't write while the Lenovo is processing videos. So having this new computer, which is a Chromebook, because the other Chromebook is for children, they get to do their little games and they do reading eggs and watch videos and movies and things on it. And so if I have the Chromebook, it's something lighter to take out and about with me as well, because I only really use it for, well, I will only really be using it for writing, using Google Docs, that kind of thing. And then I can free up my other computer mostly for editing, marketing, that kind of thing, editing videos, editing pictures, social media stuff, hardcore stuff, so that whilst a video is processing, I can still get typing done and it's not going to slow up the processing of the video, because the video I did last night, it was only like 34 minutes long, the video. But it took 2.5 hours to process, and if I had been using the computer whilst that was doing that, it would have taken twice as long, 3 times as long sometimes. So now I'm done waffling. Gonna get some work done before lunch. It is now 11:10, so I've been talking to y'all for like 10-15 minutes now. So I'll catch you later.
Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it will cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me what you told. Why am I like this? Something.
So I've had a few interruptions, but I've just managed to finish the breakdown for chapter 1, and it is almost 2 sides of A4 paper. I've tried to put in as much detail as I can, and in doing this, I've added a little bit that will create an intensified animosity between Libby and Leanne, and so I'm kind of glad that I've taken this back to the drawing board. But as a little reward to myself for doing this, because after each chapter I'm going to give myself a little reward, I'm going to paint my nails. This is the shade Hot Cocoa, so I'm going to paint my nails. The kids are going crazy because it's lunchtime, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do chapter 2. So yeah, making progress, steady progress. And yeah, hopefully we'll get, I think it's like 12-ish chapters I had mapped out. So let me just double check my note cards if I can get them in the right order. So you got 1, 2. So my note cards are originally marked out for 12 chapters. So I'm looking at potentially writing out 12 sheets of paper today. And then starting on the drafting process tomorrow. I am trying to be very realistic with this. Like, I will set myself a conservative expectation, but even my conservative expectations seem to be a little bit too much. So I'm just going to take adjustments as they come along, and I'm not going to see them as setbacks. It's just being realistic and being kind to myself and not being hard on myself. As I get the ball rolling, I will be able to up my productivity, but we are starting from ground zero and building back up. So I'm happy with what I've done. I'm gonna give my little treat and get lunches done, and then we'll come back. So there we are. We have hot cocoa on the nails, and I've decided that at the end of each chapter I do a breakdown for today, I'm gonna let myself have a little treat. So once I finished chapter 2, I'm gonna let myself do a spread in my scrapbook, and I think, because they're sitting right in front of me, staring at me, I'm gonna do a washi tape spread with this set of washi tape because they're just beautiful, like decoupage woodland creatures and like antique type writing paper, and they're just so pretty, and they're just sitting right there, they're staring at me, and it's a beautiful mishmash. I think you could probably see in there, but it's a beautiful mishmash of chunky pieces and thinner pieces, and there's a piece on the floor here. There are these ones on the floor here that are catching my eye, like bookcases and writing, more bookcases. Oh, look at that kitty! Look at the kitty! So yeah, it's almost like this is a chunkier version of this. I think they might have been in the same set because there was a set that was just sort of thrown around the floor by little Mikey. But after I've finished breaking down chapter 2, I'm gonna do a washi tape spread, and that's gonna make me so super happy. I don't know what I'm gonna do for after chapter 3 and so forth, but I'll think of something. There's lots of fun little things I like to do. So back to the grindstone, if you will.
Always a miss, can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't upside. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad? Sometimes I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful.
Okay, so I've just finished the breakdown for chapter 2. It wasn't quite as long as the breakdown for chapter 1 because I feel like chapter 1 I was missing a whole lot and I needed to remind myself of a whole lot, whereas chapter 1 I needed to remind myself of a whole lot of stuff and add a whole lot of stuff, whereas chapter 2 is just the rest of this column and then this section here so far. And I think that's pretty much it because it meets up at the point I need it to meet at. It covers all the bases, it adds extra stuff. This one is very much less about interaction, less about dialogue, and more about in Michael's head and his perspective on things and his feelings. That sounds very like, what sounds very sissy and girly, but no, he's the things that have happened in the past really affected him. It could have ruined his entire life, so having this moment where he practically forgot that had even happened, it kind of just hits him like a ton of bricks again, and the shock of feeling the way he does towards Libby all over again. Like, he always still held a candle to her, but having it just hit him the way it does in this moment, it needs to be focused on. It needs a spotlight on it. Next chapter is chapter 3, which is Leon's first chapter. No, Scott's first chapter. I have it on the note cards as Leon, but I changed it back to Scott because I was not feeling Leon. And he just demanded to be called Scott, so that's what we're doing. We're sticking with it. So that means I get to have my chapter 2 bonus of doing my washi spread in my scrapbook. And I've refilled my coffee, we've had snacks. Again, had a bunch of interruptions because there's a car broken down outside and the kids were like coming in and watching it, which is fine until they're like screaming, banging, touching my plants and walking up and down the window like and stepping on stuff that's gonna slide, and just mess. Set mummy off. So I would have had this done probably a good half an hour ago if I hadn't been for that. So I'm welcoming the relief of doing this. So I'm going to enjoy myself. Yes, I am.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I see. When your stars have burnt out and your heart makes no sound, I'll find violet in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky. Be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
So that is my little board finished. I think it turned out really pretty. I like it. Now I'm going to go start on chapter 3, which I'm hoping to get finished before dinner. And I don't know what my reward will be for that one. It's really silly that my reward might be work related, but one of the things keeping me from finishing this project is allowing myself to get distracted by other projects. So I think my reward for finishing chapter 3 will be getting to spend 20 minutes in Hellmouth and fill in a bit of the story Bible for that. I think that'll be my reward, 20 minutes doing that. So yeah, let's get some work done and then I can get my reward and work on Hellmouth for a little bit, because I do like the idea of being able to progress other things at the same time as working on this. Just to, you know, palate cleanse, that kind of thing. So chapter 3 is Scott's chapter, his first chapter, and he's with Leanne in the car, so yeah, let's dive on in. And this one I think might be a two-sider because I want there to be a lot of detail in here. I want to get into his head, because when I was first doing it, when I was first making up his card and making notes, a lot of stuff came out. Stuff came out. Sounds like I was popping a pimple, but I suppose that's a good analogy for the kind of scum he is. So let's get cracking. Hey, so it's Monday the 12th of May. I'm not long back from work. I've just had to do some like house admin on the phone, but next way picking up the kids from school. I did manage to get to the end of chapter 3 yesterday in my breakdown. I did not manage to get all of it done, unfortunately. I will try and get more of it done today. I was hoping to, you know, go to a coffee shop or something after work, but it's Monday. I should have known better. Because remember I mentioned that they'd gotten someone in for the weekends? I don't know if she's coming in anymore. I think it's back to being just me. I don't know. I just don't know, guys. So, yeah, I went from having 2 rooms to having 9, like that. And, yeah, so I didn't get out of work until like 1:30. Didn't get home till like 2:30. Because I work basically an hour bus ride away, depending on how long I have to wait for the bus. It's an hour commute. both ways, which is why I was writing on the bus. Maybe I should go back to doing that. It can be a bit tricky, especially when you're doing like the handwriting, but when I get to the typing part, it'll be fine. I'll get back to it. So yeah, I'm going to try and finish doing the breakdowns today, tonight. I'm going to try and conserve as much as my energy. I'm going to be very chill and, you know, not so high-strung about things, because that's usually what sets me off. I get very high-strung about things, and then I get worked up, and then I lose my temper, and boom, there goes all my energy fussing over silly things, and then everybody else gets worked up, and basically it's all about emotional regulation. If I learn to freaking regulate my emotions, I don't know why I'm sitting like this, I don't know if you can see this going on with my elbow, but if I could learn to regulate my emotions a lot better, I mean, I'm a lot better than I used to be, but if I could learn to regulate my emotions a lot better, I'd be able to conserve my energy a lot better, and there'd be less chaos in the house, and that's mostly what I would like, is less chaos in the house. But the kids are ready to come home. I don't know if they're going to play in the front garden for a little bit. We have a neighbour that lets them use their old trampoline because her grandkids have grown up and are too old for it. It's a rusty thing. It doesn't have a net around it anymore, but the kids don't care. They just be careful. You know, old school trampolining. They're just careful. And I said to them, when we get our own place, we can get our own trampoline, and yeah, that's the goal. Well, the first goal is, when I make my first £100, we're having a Chinese. We're having a takeaway. Because we haven't had a takeaway like a Chinese. In fact, we haven't had a chipper this year, I don't think. But we haven't had a Chinese in ages, so it would be nice to have one. Anyways, I'll catch in with you guys later. Hi, I'm Laura. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the start of another vlog. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2025. I did try and film this intro a little bit earlier on my phone on the way to work, but it decided it wasn't gonna save the footage, so here we are. I would like to film more of those little candid clips again, so if you guys enjoyed them. But yeah, let's bring us all up to date. Yesterday I closed out my last vlog and I was trying to finish off the breakdown for Just Breathe, and I did get really close. I wrote so much yesterday, and we were talking like handwritten. I wrote over like 3,000 words yesterday. So yeah, handwritten. Very impressed with myself. As I said, we were looking at more, maybe originally it was going to be about 12 chapters and probably pushing more to like 14, 15 chapters. We are still in that like 14, 15 chapter ballpark. I'm currently breaking down chapter 12, I think it is. I think I'm on chapter 12. Because I didn't quite get it finished last night because I already did so much. Super tired. I wasn't able to get any done this morning because of just when the kids woke up, and on the way to work I wasn't able to get my bus ticket. For some, I get a week ticket, and I wasn't able to get the week ticket because they didn't have any of the slips, and I was like sitting there just anxious the entire time, thinking the inspector was going to get on the bus and was going to turf me off, because they're really quite strict with the bus inspectors at the moment for some reason. I haven't seen bus inspectors since I was like a little kid, and now I've been on 2 in the last month. 2 buses the last month I've had bus inspectors on them. So yeah, so I was feeling like really anxious for that, and then I had a long-ish, hiya, you got a goat? I think it's a goat. Is it a goat? Oh, he's off. I had a long-ish day today. I didn't get out until like 1:30, but I did manage to do some writing on the bus, and I got a fair bit done. Like I say, handwriting on the bus. So I'm gonna refresh my tea. My computer is on charge. I just posted today's vlog, and yeah, I'm a bit knackered. I was hoping to get to the writing part, like the actual drafting, today. Hopefully I'll get that done tonight and I can catch up and get back on track. I'm hoping to have this draft completed by Friday night. I know that's a big ask, but it's I'm not setting this in stone, but what I would love to happen, if I could get it to happen, is have this done by Friday night, and then over the weekend crash edit it, like just go gung-ho with it, get it edited and formatted, and then I can publish it on Monday for my birthday, because it's my birthday on Monday. I'm going to be 36. Wouldn't that just be like awesome? So yeah, happy birthday to me. I've published my first story. But yeah, but none of that's going to happen if I don't get on with it, so I'm going to stop yabbering and get on with it.
You're the night sky trying to make me see your stars, but the dark gets so lonely. Now I see violet, I can feel silence, and the dark's all that I